Hey YouTube, it has been so long since we last talked. So much has happened over the last year that has prevented me from making content, but I am so happy to be back, and what a better way to start than with one of my favorite recently announced archetypes, the Doomz. Today, I'm going to be going over a couple of different combos that you can do with the deck that you may or may not have already seen given that they've been out so long, but I still want to talk about them anyways and just kind of shed a little bit more light on them just because I love the archetype so much. Um, Today, we're going to start with the ones that I assume most people have already seen, which are going to be the Shadal variant and the Horus variant. And then, we're going to pivot into the two ritual variants that you see here, Mitsu and Nekroz. There's a really cool equip card that allows you to float into these archetypes the same way that you float into Shadal's is going to be basically the exact same way that you get into your ritual combos. So, without further ado, let's just get it started. Let me turn this off. So, for just to showcase these combos, I'm starting off with the most basic of lines that you can do. There is so much that you can do with Doomz. There's a lot of different routes that you can do, but I'm just going to be showing, sort of the most basic ones. So as you guys can see, we're going to start this line with normal summoning Medius, going into Power Patron, going into Diactorus, and then Diactorus is going to pop your Power Patron, right? Your Power Patron is then going to search your continuous spell. The continuous spell is going to pop your Xyz, and then that's going to special summon the Almath. Now, the Amalth, or however you pronounce this guy, Amalth, I'm not sure. This guy is going to be able to search, our boss monster, and then on pop, when Diactorus goes to the graveyard, he's going to also be able to search us our equip spell. Now, a lot of the times, Diactorus is going to search, like if you're playing Doomz pure, you're going to be searching probably like Angelic Ring, or something like that, or maybe even the Synchro Boost card. I'll get more into those later in some different videos, but for now, we are going to be searching this card, Dogmatica Schism, dude. This card has the effect that when it's sent to the graveyard, because the equipped monster is destroyed, you get to send any monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, which I think is super sick. And that's exactly how we're going to get into the Shadal cards, by sending this guy App Cologne here. So, in order to destroy our Amalth, that is going to be because of Drastia. Drastia is going to pop it in order to special summon himself and equip himself with an equip spell. Now, right, because we popped the monster that this was equipped to, Dogmatica Schism is then going to Foolish the App Cologne. App Cologne is then going to search Schism, and this is how we're going to be able to get Winda with the Doomz cards. So, obviously you cannot activate Schism until the main phase, so during main phase, we're going to banish our two targets, summon out the Winda, and then we're only allowed to special summon once, but that's fine. Given, if this is the only cards that we have on our end board at the time, this is perfectly fine. Because Drastia is insane. Drastia is able to go into this card, Drastius, which I absolutely love. I think that this card is awesome. Super, super slept on. On summon, right, if you Xyz summon this card, you can equip one face-up monster on the field as an equip spell, so there's, boom, one yeet right away. Not to mention, the first yeet on summon, it is also a monster negate, and then you get to yeet that card too. So it's two yeets, a monster negate, and your opponent can only special summon once because of the window. So, this is a pretty good interaction. If you literally only have Medius to work off of, I think that this is a pretty cool end board. Now, of course, that's going to be where we showcase that replay. Alrighty, let's go into the Horus. What is going on here? I have to actually leave? Okay. Sorry about that. Let's go into the Horus one. This is going to be the one that I know a lot of people also know this deck as well because of some of the recent support that has come out. So, of course, we're just going to start with the Horus stuff. Send Happy. Okay, so this is something that a lot of people already know of, right? We're going to get rid of Imseti for the new Dark Magician of Destruction. Search the Gaze of Timaeus. Of course, this is going to allow us to get Dragoon, right? We're going to go into Dragluxion here, which searches our 7th Tachyon. That's how we are going to get into our Doomz plays. And of course, Dragluxion is going to make Harbinger just for a spell negate. Now, The 7th Tachyon, of course, is going to come down, reveal the Ragna 0 to search the Medius. And now we get to do the exact same thing that we just did before. Medius, summon Power Patron target, get out our Diactorus. Diactorus going to pop, so on and so forth. Now, see here, you can see that we are searching the Angelica's Ring. Now, obviously, I'm just doing this to showcase that you can search any equip spell. Angelica's Ring is a very good one that I think most people are going to be playing just because it's a negate. However, you know, in this version of the deck, it might seem a little redundant given you already have Hope. So, you know, if you want to change this equip spell with whatever else you find cool, you know, it's all up to interpretation for whatever you want. I'm just searching Angelica's Ring here for replay purposes, just to showcase like kind of what the deck can do. And again, this is all off of one M-Seti, you know, plus the 2 discards given that you have from Sark. And you guys, you know, plus the Dragoon. So you have your Drastius, right, which is your 2 monster yeets and a monster negate. You have your Dragoon, which is a negate. You have Hope, which is a negate. Angelica's Ring, right? All of that is fantastic. I'm not going to let it go through. Like, I'm not going to showcase all of these effects, all of these negates going off. We're just going to immediately do Drastia, which you can see pulls your Angelic Ring. So make sure that you're careful. Make sure that your Angelic Ring goes off first, or if you're using a different equip spell, make sure that you get the full value out of your equip spell before making Drastius. But yeah, this is kind of what this board is doing here. Now, we're going to get into the ones that I think are a little bit more interesting. The one that I think everybody, you know, is going to be more happy to see is the Mitsu variant, just because Mitsu is incredibly strong, right? So I'm going to do the Necroz one first. I really love Necroz. They're probably my favorite ritual archetype of all time. This combo, however, is going to be a little bit different, and we are going to be starting with the Realize instead of with Medius himself. Now, Medius is still going to be the combo starter, but in Necroz, we value our normal summon as the Avance a little bit more. So, instead of playing the, for me personally, instead of playing the spell card that searches Medius, I actually play the one that foolishes him instead, because I would prefer to special summon him from the graveyard. You know, that's entirely up to you guys, though, and how you want to play the deck, of course. The combo is going to be the exact same all the way up until we go to send a card from the extra deck. It's going to be the exact same as we did with the Shadal one, where we send App Cologne. But the only difference here is the send target that you're going to be sending from the extra deck is actually going to be Herald of the Arclight. I'm sure a lot of you guys already saw that coming once you saw the rituals named. But because of the new support that Necroz got, one Brionac can get you Ariad, which I think that that's really cool. You know, and again, this is off of just one Theo Realize. So potentially you could have, you know, way more on your end board as well too. You're going to have hand traps, you're going to have other engine, you know what I mean? That's going to make this board a little bit more sufficient. I'm just showing what you can potentially do off of the one card again, like I was saying before. And yeah, so Avance is going to be able to special summon, you know, Amelia. Ariad is going to tribute, so that way we can get our search for the ritual spell. Cycle is going to bring back Ariad, and there you go. You have your Ariad negate plus the Drastia, plus the 2 Drastia steals and negate off of that, and then because of Avance, you get to recycle your Amelia and Divine Mirror as well. You don't have to do this right away. I just did it, you know, for replay purposes. But yeah, this is pretty much all that this board is doing as well. I mean, it's Necroz, right? I'm not going to hype it up to be anything that it's not, but I absolutely love it. So I just wanted to showcase, you know, kind of what this can do. And then instead of going through the whole replay again, I'm probably going to just cut to that point again for the Mitsurugi variant of the deck. I'm just going to cut right to the point where you guys see Herald getting sent to the graveyard, so I'll be right back in 1 second. Okay, so we are back again right at this point where we are going to be sending Herald to the graveyard, and now the exact same thing is going to happen as before, except this time, of course, we are going to be searching the king himself, Habakiri. And from here, you know, you just get to do full Mitsurugi combo. I don't think that I really need to touch on what Mitsurugi does. You know, it's been around for a long time. People love it or you hate it. You know, I think that everybody is very familiar with how this archetype works now. But just so you guys can see what potentially an end board could look like with Mitsurugi inside of the Doomsies. You know, we are playing a little bit, we're playing a little bit of Garnets in this list just to showcase what a full potential end board could look like. If I were to play this deck, you know, on the ladder or something like that, I don't know if I would actually be playing the Knight Sword Serpent. I don't know if I would actually be playing Futsu, for example. Again, it was just to showcase, like, how strong it could potentially be. So yeah, we're gonna, you know, mirror off, get Habakiri back on the field. Futsu is going to revive and get the purification, of course. And then I am going to overlay the Habakiri and the Futsu for hope. You know, just an extra something on the end board. So of course, you know, Spell Trap negate, you got a little bit of protection for your guys with over 2,000 attack points. The Murakumo's got, you know, of course his negate, plus the field wipe, the purification negate, the 2 monster steals off of Drostia, and the monster negate that he has, you know, which is just really good. It's a lot of interaction. Obviously, the Mitsurugi cards are putting forth like a lot of power in this version of the deck. They're bringing forth a lot to the table. But, you know, that's to be expected when you use one of the best archetypes. So, yeah, this is pretty much all I would like to showcase for now. I just wanted to go over those quick replays real quick and just kind of showcase what Doomz can do. If there's anybody that wants to see like more in-depth deck profiles of these, or like if you guys, you know, if there's people out there that want to see like actual full-length videos of these decks dueling on the ladder and like seeing how well they play into interaction and stuff like that, I can definitely do that in the future. Also, while we're talking about it, I am actually trying to create a Doomz guide as well that I'm going to have available to the whole public. Right now, at this exact moment, I'm only doing it in Apache, you know, just to kind of get everything sorted and, you know, have everything in the guide that I want to be there. And then I'm probably going to be transferring all of this stuff over to a Photoshop document, so that way, you know, it looks a lot more aesthetically pleasing. You know, I can edit it in a little bit different ways that Word editing, like these Word document softwares, don't exactly allow you to do. So yeah, if you guys have, like, if you also like Doomz, or you have any cool things about Doomz that you think should be included into a guide, absolutely send that to me. I'm willing to include any and all information about this archetype. You know, the more that we can get about this archetype into the guide, the, you know, just the better the guide will be in the future. And I want it to be beneficial for everybody. So of course, as soon as the guide is done, I'm going to post it for free. It's going to be available to everybody, so none of that information is going to go to waste. Anyway, yeah, if you guys have information on Doomz that you would like to send me, just definitely DM me at Equinox, you know, on Twitter or Instagram, wherever you feel more comfortable. I'll definitely reply there. And then also, you know, I have a lot of different things that we're going to be going over for the YouTube channel. Lots of different techs that you can do. Lots of different engines that you can use to utilize the Doomz's better. You know, like Millennium is a great one, of course. You know, we're going to have all of that stuff in the guide. So, yeah, that's kind of the content that I want to make going forward in the future. A lot of you guys that have been watching my videos in the past, you know that I've made videos about kind of teaching people how to play all sorts of decks and kind of giving them a beginner crash course on how archetypes work. And that was fun for a while. But I would like to, you know, move my content towards mainly Xyz archetypes. That's really what I love. That's where I have a lot of passion. So I really just want to be talking about those on a week-to-week basis, and, you know, shedding more light onto why I think Xyz cards are the coolest cards in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! And so, yeah, that's kind of where I want my content to be moving towards. And then, you know, here in the future, when I can get a better camera, we're definitely going to be moving towards more IRL content too, and I think that that's going to be really fun. So, with that being said, man, that's going to be the end of this video. I love y'all so much. I love Doomz so much. If you guys want to see more Xyz content, more Doomz content, let me know down below. And of course, like I said, if you guys have any information that you think would be dope to add into a guide, please, you know, at Equinox, DM me on Twitter, Instagram, wherever. And yeah, we'll get that made.